you about our vacation in 2015 May. This year we decided to go to California, but we didn't just want to go to the very touristic areas, but go and visit the Southern Californian desert, the Sonoran Desert. I can tell you it was very, very interesting. I'm planning to make a couple of vlog videos about our experiences. I'm going to start with one of the most interesting places we visited this time, which was Slab City. Slab City, or you can also call them the Slabs, is a campsite in the Sonoran Desert, about 156 miles northeast of San Diego, California. This area used to be a Second World War barrack, naval camp, basically. They called it Camp Dunlap. And they completely demolished the buildings of the Navy barracks. The only thing which had been left back was the slabs. So these actually gave the rise of a very interesting city where people who were homeless in California or anywhere else in the US and become very, very poor have decided to move there and live freely.
Impression of Slab City is like apocalyptic paradise. Yeah, I guess that would be it.
First heard about it from the movie Into the Wild, like most people did. And I thought I must see it once I'm in California. So here I am, and it's an awesome place to be.
In the early 90s, of course, when my mother came to be with my stepfather, it was half hippie, half Wild West. That's the only way to describe it. Half hippie, half Wild West.
The way I describe it is if Palm Springs and Deadwood, South Dakota had an illegitimate child, it would be Slab City.
The city's the last free place on earth. It's not really free. You live off the grid, but you got to take care of your own.
Navy frogs or Navy seals right before the Second World War. And then after it was abandoned, it was useless. The regional contractors decided to come in and reclaim all of the building materials and refabricate stuff elsewhere to continue the life cycle of the region. After they dismantled it, then it became an out-of-the-way place to do stuff that nobody really was aware of.
takes a while to get to the last free place in America. 140 miles east of San Diego, farmland turns to dusty towns, which turn to parched desert land. This guard post tells us we're close. This whole place used to be a military base. They left concrete slabs, giving RVs a place to park and inspiring the city's name. Soon you start to see Slab City's makeshift homes. Some come here to escape society. Some are destitute.
You'll see when we pull the ropes up.
And every year, this motley community does the unlikeliest thing. They throw a prom. They say they do it because so many of them didn't go to their own prom.
It doesn't matter how you got here. We're just very happy that you came.
Earlier that day, Bill Ammon is setting up for the big night.
Well, it's all trial and error. But
He goes by Builder Bill. His wife has been gathering dresses from thrift stores for people to borrow. 16 years ago, Builder Bill was working construction in San Diego. Jobs dried up. Soon he was living out of his van. He calls Slab City the end of the rope.
you can retreat and you can retreat and you can retreat, and then there's just one last little knot on the end of the rope. That's Slab City. There might be some Baileys left over there, though.
But he says Slab City is also freedom. Freedom from rent or loans, freedom from zoning laws, and freedom from harassment.
Slab City, you can just sit down and occupy a spot on the planet without any debt, indebtedness, persecution.
Of course, freedom has a price. There's no electricity here, no water, no sewer system. It may be free, but it's also free from garbage pickup.
It's just a piece of useless, unwanted, unusable desert. And that's why we've been allowed to be here all these years.
All right. The state of California owns this land. No one really knows how much it would cost to clean up the place. There may also be munitions and military waste buried out here. The federal government is looking into that now. The state is open to selling the land, and for the first time, Slab City residents are applying to buy it.
I got to thinking, well, if the state's getting ready to unhorse this land, we all depend on this place. And so I took a pretty big alarm and said, hey, we got to do something. You know, I get to sling the mud.
Builder Bill helped form a community group. Slab resident Lynn Bright put together the application to buy the land. She says they need to preserve Slab City from outside development.
If we do nothing and don't organize, then who's the head that's going to pop up and say, hey, wait a minute, not here? Who's going to do that? Nobody.
It's not clear who would want to buy and develop this land, but the mere threat of a sale has shifted the thinking out here. By organizing to save Slab City, some are worried they'll lose the thing that has made it a refuge for so many, the freedom.
I always stay at the top here just to make sure I have my bearings.
Gary Brown came to Slab City 7 years ago. He took a sabbatical from the IT industry. When he tried to re-enter in 2008 at age 56, it was tough.
Who wants to hire an old, ugly old man when you can get a kid from Mumbai for $25?
Brown devised a way to live in the desert year-round. He built an insulated room inside his RV where he can control the temperature. He calls it the Cool Cube.
And this cool tropical breeze just washes all over my body, and it becomes a Zen-like experience.
Brown is adamantly against Slab residents organizing to purchase the land. He says that would bring the one thing Slabbers fear most, a landlord.
If this place has to submit to building codes, the slabs goes away.
Brown wants the slabs to be there for people who hit rock bottom, including those fighting mental illness.
So that the really crazy people can at least fit in and live. And I think that's important. Went a long way to slaying my demons.
But Bright says it's time to take responsibility of the land.
Yep, we're going to have to help in a positive way in terms of cleanup. We're going to have to engage with different levels of government.
She says they have no intention of charging rent. It was her late husband and builder Bill who came up with the tagline, "The last free place in America."
We're going to have to grow up and still maintain somehow the last free place in America.
Later at the Slab City Prom, no one is thinking about land sales. There's a new prom king and queen.
This year's prom king and queen.
It will be months before the state decides whether to sell them this land. This poor community will then have to raise the money to buy it, which leaves the future of Slab City uncertain. But one thing is for certain. At this same time next year, they hope to be here at prom, wearing borrowed dresses, smiling for photos, and dancing under a desert sky. Angela Carone, KPBS News.